Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Saturday, the 25th of Zulqa'dah, 1446, 24th of May 2025. Hazrat Wala has kitab in front of him. Speaking about it, he says, this is a wonderful kitab. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah said, Ashraf Ali, translate this kitab. It will be of tremendous benefit to the people. So here, the author is saying, there's two things that the individual in the dunya is in need of. Ilmun wa taqwa. Ilm and taqwa, knowledge and piety. فالعلم يعلم به الحلال والحرام. By means of ilm and knowledge, he will be able to understand what is permissible and what is impermissible. والتقوى تصده عن ارتكاب الآثام. And by means of taqwa, piety and fear, this year will help him stay away from committing of sins. Also, his need for ilm is because he needs to know the ahkam and the laws that are related to the different transactions, the bay' salam, bay' sarf, and other related aspects. Despite that, he is also in need of that knowledge to understand the rules of the wajibat, the fara'id, etc., which he needs to perform and carry out in the different ibadat. So if a person has ilm and taqwa, what Hazrat Wala is saying, then sahi zindagi guzar sakte hai. Then he'll be able to live life in a correct manner. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to abundantly relate to us about a certain person. Now this is what happens in the absence of knowledge. He takes some type of cotton wool or tissue, etc. He smears feces on it, and then he stuffs it into his nose. And what's his calculation of that? He says, because I'm striving. I'm making mujahada because I went to the different khankas and I sat with the different Sufis and I realized they're all using itar. So I done that. I stuffed these cotton balls or cotton wool or tissue paper smeared with feces into my nose so I can carry out mujahada. And I stuffed something else in my ears so that I can't hear this, that and the other. Now to start off with, kya tumhari namaz bhi sahi hoti hai ki nahi? Is your salat even counted? Now, all of this here happens when a person has no knowledge. A person came, he seated himself. Hazrat Tanvi approached him and said to him, like, how have you come? He says, I have come here for my islah. So then, he asked him, engaged with him. He must have been reading something, this, that or the other. To aya mere paas, parta hai apna. So you have come here. You're saying you have come for ikhlas, but you're doing what your mind, your heart and your desires actually wish. Now, how will a person succeed and how will the desired effects come about? So ilm ki zarurat, warna a person desperately needs knowledge, and if not, he only digresses and nothing else. When a person has the knowledge of tariqat, this path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is only then that he will be able to make amal. Some people came to Hazrat Tanvi, but they were doing their own thing. And what was the end result? Dur hote gaye. Day by day, they started going further and further. So if a person doesn't have knowledge, there's nothing else for him other than that of deviation. You know, this kitab is an amazing kitab. We're just learning here, and so much is learned from this, the importance of knowledge and piety. Hazrat Tanvi took the majority of his usul from this particular kitab. This type of sifat and characteristic is definitely a must for the people of the Khanka. Okay, let's continue. So let's continue. When a person wishes to leave his home, then the first thing he needs to do is to put his azm and his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before leaving home. And what is his oath? And what is his contract between himself and Allah? And what has he declared? He's actually making a declaration when he leaves home that I will forgive any person who causes sorrow, grief, and pain to me. He leaves on that note. Now, tell me, shouldn't the people of the Khanka have this type of quality? This type of characteristic within themselves? I have stayed where Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, our Hazrat Wala is saying, Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Partab Gari. And I've seen at both of them that people would come there, and then this type of argument would start amongst the people there in the Khanka. And that type of argument would start quarrel, etc. So the marketplace is a place of debate, quarrels, and chit-chat talk. It is therefore for this reason that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is mentioned, أَيَعْجِزُ أَحَدُكُمْ أَن يَكُونَ كَأَبِي ضَمْضَمٍ كان إذا خرج من بيته قال اللهم إني تصدقت بعرضي على المسلمين. What makes you people helpless that you are unable to say what Abi Damdam used to say? When he used to leave his house, he would say that, "O Allah, I have given charity of my honor to the Muslimin," meaning, فَمَنْ سَبَّهُ أَوْ شَتَمَهُ لَا يَرُدُّ عَلَيْهِ شَيْئًا. If anybody is vulgar, if anybody troubles him, abuses him in any way, he will not answer in the least. Also, it is suitable أن يتوضأ ويصلي قبل خروجه أن يتوضأ ويصلي قبل خروجه, that he carries out the wudu and he performs salat before leaving, and in that he asks Allah as-salamata fi makhrajihi dhalik. He asks Allah for peace and protection in his going out of the home. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَدْرِي مَا يُقْضَى عَلَيْهِ, because he knows not what is going to come upon him. Because the one who leaves to go to the marketplace is actually equivalent to the one who leaves going out into the battlefield. Therefore, it is suitable for him that he adorns himself with the armor of trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seeking his protection. Why? Because this type of armor will protect him from the arrows of the enemy. وَمَنْ يَعْتَصِمْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ هُدِيَ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. You know, on one occasion, we had to go out to town. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to read in the one masjid, and on that occasion, he said, "Let me go to the other masjid." When he goes there, he's looking around, and he then remarks, and then he says, "Where is Qamar Uzzaman? Where is Mubin? Where have they gone? Oh, in my absence, I'm not here, then everybody runs." Nevertheless, when we reached back, when we returned, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab started inquiring that why is it, how is it, how come you people were not here? And we explained to him that we had to go out to town and it got late, due to which we performed our Maghrib Salah there in town. But I can't explain to you how severely he reprimanded us and scolded us that day. What can I tell you, people? Maybe it is because of that I exercise now so much of caution. He was worried that we had gone to the town, we had gone to the bazaar and the marketplace, and a person is vulnerable when he goes there. I had to give the kitab every day and present it before Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to start the Majlis. If I had to be there a minute or a few minutes late, I can't tell you how strict Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was with me. How come you late? Where were you? How is this? And what is that? So Allah Ta'ala shurur or fitan se bachaye. Allah Ta'ala keep us protected and Allah Ta'ala safeguard us from the evils. Now today, these shurur and this type of trials and tribulations have even come and penetrated into our houses. So then what can we say about going into the marketplace and into the bazaars? Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, when he came back from Bombay, he started speaking to us so much about looking after the gaze and the eyes. When a person goes into the marketplace and does that and the other, it is only according to his need, and then he is out from there. Okay, it is also suitable for this person who is leaving to hand over in the trust of Allah his family, his assets and whatever else is there, because it is most definite that all those things then will be protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala himself says, فَاللَّهُ خَيْرٌ حَافِظًا وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Allah is the best of protectors and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy. He reads his dua, Allahumma anta sahibu fi safar wal khalifatu fil ahl. فإنه إذا استودعهم الله فحري أن يرجع فيجدهم كما يحب ويحبون. Because when he reads his dua and he hands over everything to Allah, then when he returns, most definitely he will find them like how he wishes and like how they wished. Some of these people, saintly people, one of them went out on journey while his wife was expecting, and he read his dua, etc., that, "Oh Allah, I hand over in your trust that which is in her womb." Nevertheless, he went, his wife passes away in his absence, he returns from his safar, he asks and inquires about her. It is said to him, she passed away in her pregnancy. When it grew dark, he sees a nur that night from the cemetery. He follows it, and it is from that Qamar. There is a child that is breastfeeding from that woman. Nevertheless, there's many waqi'ats like this here. He has written extensively speaking about all these important points. The most important thing is hifazat, looking after and protecting yourself from all these type of things. Allah Ta'ala protect us all. That one day is stipulated from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning when we will have to leave. Now how is it? बुजुर्गों के साथ रहने के बाद नफ्सियात में रहना बहुत बुरी बात है. After saying what saintly and pious people, how is it that we are still stuck in all these things and following that of the nafs and base desires? Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min al-fitan ma dhahara minha wa ma batan wa min yawmi as-su' wa min laylati as-su' wa min sa'ati as-su' ومن صاحب السوء ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.